Today is Thursday, August 24th, and I'm looking at a sample of pond water I got from Morningside Park earlier this week. And I have just found this thing here. Hold on, let me adjust the phone. It's not quite lined up with the eyepiece correctly. There we go, that's a little better. This is obviously a multicellular creature, but I'm not sure what sort. So let's try zooming in from 100 times magnification up to 200. Here is the thing. Maybe I can get it in focus, maybe I can't. I can't tell if this is like a gastrotrich or gastrotrich. I don't remember how to pronounce it. Something like that. Gastrotrich, perhaps. No, gastrotrich. Or it might be, it's not a flatworm. It might be some sort of a roundworm. And yet it seems like it's got cilia on its front. So I am not sure what that is. I can bump my phone magnification up to, it's a little under 2. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. I suspect it's not a gastrotrich, and that it's some sort of a worm instead. Hold on just a moment. I need to adjust something else on my phone. Turn that off. Oh shoot, I've lost, oh goodness, there it is, okay. Interesting, so you can see it's got stuff in its gut, which is like yellowish at the front, moving towards reddish further back. I suspect the change in colors is that it is digesting stuff, and you can see that at the front it's eaten greenish or yellowish or something stuff, and as it goes further through the digestive tract, whatever is causing that color gets broken down into something more reddish. So I have not seen this before. I don't know what it is, but that's kind of the excitement of microscopy, that on any given day, who knows what you're going to see. There's a famous quote in microscopy from someone whose name I don't remember, which is basically, and I'm going to butcher it slightly, but to paraphrase, everything is everywhere and it's the environment that selects, which basically means that any microbe is its habitat is not limited to a specific geographic area, the way that there are certain animals and plants and stuff that are only native to some small valley in one particular place. Instead, microbes go throughout the world. And where you find them depends on what sort of environment this is, but if the environment changes, they will find a way to get into it later if it's favorable later. And they do that by hitching rides on drops of water, and some of them can be evaporated into clouds and then rain down elsewhere. Some of them can stick to the fur of and scales and things of animals that go for a swim. And then the animal goes out of the pond and into some other pond, and now the microbe is over there. They can get caught by the wind and just whipped out of the water and blown away into some other environment. And so it's not a surprise to me to encounter something in Morningside Park that I have, or in Morningside Pond, excuse me, that I've never seen before. But I have no idea what this is. Now, the other possibility is that usually when I go to Morningside Pond, I grab some water from the surface of the spot where you typically feed the turtles, where the water is several feet deep, and I just grab a little off the top. And this time, instead, I went further left than that to the spot where the bank is, I don't want to say eroded, but there's this sort of gradual slope. There's some rocks that you can just walk over, followed by this gradual slope where you can see a sort of burlap thing that is trying to hold some of the dirt in place. And I went over there and grabbed some pond water from there right by the shallow end so I could get some of the grime from the very bottom of the pond as well as some of the water. So maybe that's relevant. And that does suggest a little bit that perhaps this is a gastrotrich, because I think they live in the oxygen poor mud at the bottom of ponds rather than the oxygen rich water at the top of the pond. So I'm not sure if this is because things come into and out of the pond all the time, or if this is from, it's lived in the pond the whole time, and I just sampled from the wrong spots within it. That's part of the environment selecting. Hard to tell. It does seem to have cilia all throughout its sides, and I realize that cilia might be the wrong term, but little bristly hair-type things that it uses to move around, which does make me think that perhaps this is a gastrotrich. And I still might be mispronouncing that. It might be gastrotrich with a CH at the end, or possibly with a T at the end. It's not in my daily vocabulary because I haven't seen one before. Or rather, I haven't seen one in person before. I've seen them in videos online. So that is a pretty neat thing that I've just found in this slide. And I realize that there's other stuff that flits around through the background, but this is interesting enough that I want to keep tracking it for a while longer. Elsewhere on this slide, there was a microbe a ciliate of some sort in the middle of dividing, and I'm not sure if it's a Didinium or Colops or something like that. And part of me wants to go find it again, and part of me says that I've found it like 3 times, and each time I get ready to take a video and it shoots off and I can't find it again. So part of me wants to stay here and stick with the sure bet. But I think I'm going to stop this video and go look for the dividing microbe, and if worst case, in the worst case, I can come back to this one. So that is that. Stop the video.